Okay, so recap video on worm guard, a little bit of Wormaconda guard that we've done in the last system, and reverse Wormaconda. So, let's just start from standing, linking it to spider guard. So let's just say we're playing the game and I made the gimme your lunch money grips. And now I'm sitting back on my butt, pulling Shay into Spider Galaxy, okay? And for worm guard, I need, when we were playing Spider Galaxy, I wanted Shay's left leg forward. Once I got him in this position here, it was pushing to get his hands on the mat. And then from that position, I'd be coming in, trying to get his knee on the mat. So I'd be scissoring him down to here, coming up, and then going into the whole lapel cradle passing system. Worm guard is the opposite. Say we're playing this. For Spider Galaxy, I want this leg forward. For worm guard, I want this one. So it depends on what he presents me with. If he puts his other leg forward, it gets me worm. So say we're playing the game. I move back. I get into Spider Galaxy. Now this time, this is the leg that I want this time. If he's got this leg forward, just switch it. I'm going to be hitting the whole Spider Galaxy system. Let's just say from there, he has this leg forward. Once I have that, I have now the opportunity to switch to worm guard. So all I'm going to do from there is my right foot's coming past the hip. I'm going to slide the lapel down, and now I just pendulum this leg and pass the lapel underneath my right leg, or underneath my right leg, passing the lapel from my right hand to my left hand. Just turn this way, bro. So my foot is past this hip. Go out a wee bit there, bro. So actually my foot is past this hip. This is actually called ringworm guard. And then I'm going to transition onto my left side and chop the back of his ankle, the back of his knee. And now I've made the grip with my right hand, okay? I'm on my left side and I'm pulling Shay's right knee towards me. I never want Shay's knee pointing at me. So we're going to go for our first sweep from there, like a scissor sweep or a hip bump sweep. I'm on my shoulder. I'm going to build a base onto my elbow. I lift my hip. And all I'm going to do is hip bump him and put him straight down to this position there. Once I have this grip, just turn this way, bro. Straight into our cradle passing system again. I just swim this through, drop over, take the leg, come back up in. Now I can start playing the game from there with the underhook, pin the leg, head on the mat, now we're into side control. Let's look at that again. So just from this position here, so I make the gimme my lunch money grip, I slide this down, I pull Spider Galaxy, okay? If the other leg was forward, it's Spider Galaxy, we're into the whole tiny sandwich sweep. This time he's got his right leg forward, linking it to the system. So from there, that's the leg I want if I'm playing worm guard. So you just slide this hand down, foot comes past the hip, and now from there I just let go of that lapel and I pendulum my leg straight down and just past the lapel from my right to my left, which is ringworm guard, back to my right, and I karate chop the back of his leg and I bend his knee in. So I don't want his knee facing me. I'm on my shoulder, I build the base to my elbow. The first sweep, the go-to sweep from worm guard, just shuffle back a wee bit there, bro, is this scissor sweep, technically, or a hip bump sweep. I think I've taught it in the Kane Cornelius system where you get scissor sweep the back leg. In Braulio's system, he like comes up and does a hip bump on the front leg, doesn't really matter. Same thing, so he just put all the weight on his back leg and then he just hip bump and come straight down. From there, I just come through with my other hand, find the head, back step, control, pressure, when the underhook, hand replaces, head on the mat, and I'm into side control. That's our first move. Okay. Second thing is a common linking it to the Wormaconda guard. Probably the most common counter from the worm guard is when I come up to this position and I'm here playing the game, Shay's going to put his left hand on my foot, step back with his leg and stuff my leg between his legs, and we're end up in this position. Okay. So now I'm going to make the transition to Wormaconda. So I just move my hip back, swim inside, and now we're into Wormaconda and I can start to play all the different sweeps and stuff. We we know from that position. Just put your back to the camera there, bro. A good concept to think about when you're in the worm guard and Wormaconda positions is, just move your back to the camera there, perfect. Anytime I'm in worm guard, which is this position, and I have my feet on the outside. Anytime I'm playing worm, my right leg is on the outside, my left leg is on the outside. Anytime Shay steps back and stuffs my leg on the inside, I cannot play Wormaconda with a leg on the outside. I need to move my hip back, and now I'm on the inside. So Wormaconda, both my legs are on the inside. Worm guard, both my legs are on the outside. Okay, so that's the second move. Just well, we've covered that before, we don't need to put a lot of time into that. Third move is if I can't sweep him from worm guard, we're going to take us back. Let's just get a look at that. Again, we covered this in the Keenan Cornelius system as well, so there's really nothing new there. So I just swing my leg up, do my grip change. So anytime I'm here, maybe I was going for that hip bump sweep or that scissor sweep and I couldn't get him in. So another thing is I can, one more detail about the worm guard. Just turn over this way. I always want my knee over Shay's knee. If his knee is over my knee, this could run into a lot of problems. So anytime I'm playing worm guard, I want my knee over Shay's knee. So once I make that grip, I'm going to put in a reverse De La Riva hook. I'm going to physically sit up and grab the pants. I'm going to bring him to me, and then I'm going to kick him off to get on the back. That's the third move. Let's work the fourth move, which is Braulio's famous back attack from there. So I fell on my strong side, okay? From this position, I'm going to open up the collar, swim my thumb inside as if I'm going for the choke, but I'm not really, because I know Shay is going to be defending. He's going to put two hands and pull that grip down, and I'm going to let him. Watch where my head is. It's on the wrong side. I haven't got the head trap. Watch, I'm going to let him pull that down, and my free hand, the underhook hand, is going to come inside and make a thumb in grip here. And as he pulls my hand down, I'm going to let him, and watch, I pull him up and I get my head to this side. I bring this hand underneath, and now from this position, if I control this side, I just need to hip out now, and now I have the choke. Okay, let's get another angle on that. So from, say, Spider Galaxy, we're playing the game, I get my grips, I slide this down. Anytime I want in the worm guard, I want this leg forward. So I pull him into Spider Galaxy. He'll either have one leg forward or the other one, but now he has his right leg forward. So you slide this hand down, foot comes past the hip, make the transition to worm guard. Obviously from there I'm trying for this sweep. If it doesn't happen and it's not on, okay, I'm going to thread in a deep De La Riva hook. I'm going to physically sit up and grab the pants, pull Shay towards me, and then just kick him out and put his butt on the mat. Just turn around this way, bro. So obviously we'd be falling to the strong side, and I'd just be going for the basic cross collar choke. The weakness in this is I am on the strong side, but my head's in the wrong position. So Braulio's spin on the back game is he lets the guy pull the hand down. And when he does, the underhook hand comes through that space, because Shay's created it by pulling the hand down, and they get a thumb in grip. The detail is this time, I pull on the collar and now I have the head trap. And as long as I bring this hand in and underhook it, move my hip out, do your escape, bro, it's just not happening. Just a variation of the bow and arrow choke. That's technique 4. Okay, technique 5, just from worm guard. You're here, bro. That's all based on Shay standing up inside the worm guard. Another thing he can do is he can drop the combat base. He's just going to drop onto his left knee. Now this makes then it significantly harder for me to do any of the last moves. A wee bit harder because his base is lower for me to try and get it on his back from there because he's more base. So another thing I can be thinking about is the sit-up sweep. Okay, so from this position, all I'm thinking about from here is I'm going to, once he drops the combat base, I'm going to physically sit up And my left hand is gonna feet underneath the leg, come over my leg and make this grip, and I'm gonna base with my hand. And now, as I come up, I'm gonna use this leg to physically reap Shay's leg. So now I'm coming up to this position, and by sheer chance, we are into the cradle pass again. So you make that grip. Maybe this time I couldn't win the underhook, so I'm going to bring my right knee in and step into mount. Let's get another angle on that. Here, bro. So anytime we're playing worm guard and I have this leg forward, if he's standing, options are hip bump sweep, scissor sweep, take the back. Okay, he drops the combat base. Now it's changed a little bit. Just rotate this way, bro. Nice. So from here, okay, all I'm going to do is physically sit up. My left hand comes through. I let go of the lapel and I grab. There's your cradle grip already. And now I'm going to base in my hand. Now watch. Shay's left leg is sort of still in control, or still in the zone of my right heel. So I just like hip bump nearly, I'm coming up, pushing with my head, I'm just going to push him straight down. Once I have him there, I'm turning my hip, sprawling my leg back, and there's my cradle grip again. I come over, I control the head, second one comes in, win the underhook, hand comes to this side, and I jump to the side. Let's just do one with your back to the camera. So this is our sit-up sweep. This is technique 5 in our worm guard system. So from here, I come up, ring worm guard, he drops, perfect. I sit up, hand comes through, make sure it comes over the leg, not under, because now I'm tying my own leg up. This leg, watch my right leg, it's still in connection with Shay. So once I post this hand, I can drive him back and nearly hip bump up to put him straight down. Sprawl, bring his knee across. From there I can win the cross face, start putting pressure into him. Right knee comes in, and I step in the mount. That's our 5th move. Our 6th move, a variation of that. Sometimes what can happen is, say I'm playing worm, we're here, he drops the combat base, I'm going to do the same move. So I come up and I physically make this grip, but as I try to take this leg from under him, Shay widens it. So now, see the way now, I can't bring his left knee towards me. We just do a variation, we've done this from Spider Galaxy. Now I'm just coming up, turning my hip and putting him straight down to here. Once I have him there, I make a connection, just stay up with the camera. I make a connection here. And now I'm just going to put him straight down. And we're back into the whole cradle pass system again. So fill that space with my knee. Win the underhook. Second knee comes in. Hand replaces. And we jump over it. Just get another angle on that. You're facing the camera this time. So, just drop the combat base. So we're here in worm guard. Okay. So I'm sitting up. There's the grip over the leg, not under. This time when I do this, before I can kind of, he widens that knee. So instead of going for the back leg, all I'm doing is coming up, and my front leg is to here. I build a base, and now I come up. Now from there I just bring this over, and now I can use that to turn Shay, to put him on his hip. I still keep my grips, replace my left knee with my right knee, win the underhook. Comes in, and I'm on this side. Just one more with your back. My camera. Dropping the combat base, keep it simple. So we're here. Ring worm guard, combat base. Shay's on one knee. I just come up. This comes under, make the grip.
I lost the first leg, so I just come up to here, headlock, and I just rotate, put him straight down to this position. I'm still in the cradle, so replace, with the underhook, place, replace, replace. That's technique 6 from our worm guard position. Okay, technique 7 is just a recap from Wormaconda. The 3 main things we were doing from there was the Jean-Claude, the backwards roll sweep, and the saddle sweep. Just do it once. So say I'm playing worm guard. We're here. I'm in ringworm. And Shed pushes my foot and steps back with his leg, which means I'm swimming inside to this position here. Okay. So we had obviously Jean-Claude sweep, which is this. Put him down. Just jump up again there, bro. He can defend that. He knows I want to sweep him onto the spot, so he puts his hands on the mat. So now we have the backwards off balance sweep where I just put him right over. Now we looked about how I could switch my grips and come around, and I had to pull myself into mount, or he pushes me away, which means I have the arm bar, or he turns away from me, which means I have the back. That's technique 7. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that. There's more details on the Wormaconda system recap. Technique 8. We've done this before as well. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. Let's just say from worm. Like I said, probably the most common way of dealing with worm is stuffing the leg. So that drill that we did in drill 2, coming inside straight away, is a big thing. So backwards off balance again, or sorry, backward roll sweep. I'd always go for Jean-Claude to get that reaction. He puts his hands on the mat, and now when I kick him up, he's basically balancing on his hands. So now from there, technique 8 is he just pushes me between my legs, and now we are on the back. Let's just get one more angle on that, bro. Go there. Perfect. So from there, so Shay steps back, pushes my foot into Wormaconda. I get inside control. Go for Jean-Claude, puts his hands on the mat, elevate him, and now I'm just grabbing the pants with my left hand, and now I'm pushing his knee between my legs, and now we're back into it. We can work that choke again, the Braulio choke. I go for this, he starts to pull, this hand comes through, I get the head trap, I win the underhook, leg comes over, bow and arrow. So, that's worm guard covered, that's a little recap on Wormaconda. Let's go into reverse Wormaconda, or leg over Wormaconda. So, let's just say we were in Wormaconda guard. Okay, just drop the combat base, perfect. So we were here, playing the whole game. Maybe I was trying to work the Jean-Claude. Jean-Claude works really well if Shay's standing. Stand up there, bro. It works so much better when he's standing in the backwards off roll sweep. Sometimes what can happen then, he drops the combat base, kind of nullifies the sweep a little bit. We did talk about in the Wormaconda system, I can push this out, but sometimes you get people that are really good. See the way Shay's keeping his weight to my right, his left, and pushing this leg out isn't going to happen. So this detail of switching to leg over Wormaconda, I call it reverse Wormaconda because it's very much like reverse X-guard. I just swim the underhook under this leg and basically drag the leg over my head. Now this gives me a massive advantage because now my hips are under Shay's. So now from there, our first sweep from there obviously is pushing the foot out and bringing them straight down. Now when I come up, I'm going to let go of this, stride forward and come straight into the split pass, which is basically bringing my knee across, putting a lot of pressure on Shay. 2 options from here. 1, I can find the collar and start to work the over-under pass. Heel frame, obviously. So when he does, my knee comes over, and now I try to hug the head, and he'll probably stop it with his hands, 2 hands, which means I'm going to windshield wiper my right leg, then my left, and now I'm going to sprawl on him and work on getting side control. Let's look at that again. So when will we switch from Wormaconda to reverse Wormaconda? When they drop to combat base, because he's just a little bit more control of his movement. So say we're here. Once I'm in this position, I'm going to dig under with my left hand and physically push this leg over my head. I might even switch my grip from a thumb up to the thumb down. Okay, and now the first sweep from there is I just push on the ankle and roll him over to this position there. I mean, I don't have to go into the split pass from there. Another option from this position is to bring this through and get into the leg drag. So really the passing at the end is just whatever suits your style of jiu-jitsu. Control the arm, control the head, side control. Let's look at that again, just with your back to the camera. Just combat baseball, perfect. So from our position, we get inside. Wormaconda couldn't do much. He was in combat base. Dug this through, passed it over my head, switched the grip, pushed in the foot, put him straight down, and again I can look for the leg drag if I choose to. That's technique 9. Technique 10. Same scenario. We all know how Shay's going to shut that down. Okay, so from our position, we're here. I get this over my head. I'm looking to push this foot out, and Shay's keeping all his weight on that side. He knows I want to sweep him to his right. He's going to keep all his weight to his left, and his hands are on the mat. No problem. From here, I'm just going to go for this backward roll sweep. I'm just going to pick him up from this position. And now, once I get him here, okay, options to actually physically kick him over, and we're back into the whole scenario again where I can pull myself up, mount, armbar, take the back. One more time on that. The sweep's actually easier. We showed this from Wormaconda. When you get actually the leg over the head into reverse Wormaconda, you're in the side, bro. The sweep's actually easier because my hips are under him so much more. So I have inside control. We're here. Once I have that, we're digging in. Everything so far has been getting this to the far side, switching that grip from a thumb up or from a thumb down to a thumb up. And now from there I'm looking to push. Maybe turn this way, or yeah, alright, I'm gonna put you into the radio. Perfect, okay. So I start to push this out. But if you notice, Shay's keeping all his weight to my right, his left. There's no way we want to be taking the path of least resistance. So you just put this foot on the mat, and now I'm going to use that to elevate him over. Now I can kick him over and physically roll up on top. We've covered that as well in the Wormaconda stuff. So that's technique 10. Technique 11 is just the same move, only from Wormaconda, but he does a slightly different entrance on it. Take a look at that. So let's just say, yep, perfect. We're inside. So we're here. Okay. Let's just say I'm in Wormaconda and I don't make the transition to reverse Wormaconda. I'm going for the backward roll sweep again. So just from this position, we've covered this in Wormaconda. The only difference is when I actually sweep Shay and I put him right over, Shay sits up this time, physically sits up with his back off the mat. I'm coming this way around. And once I have that, we're back into our whole bow and arrow again. Would they do that? Who knows? Sometimes you sweep people, sometimes when you sweep people they stay on their back, sometimes they'll sit up and try and continue the momentum. Let's just look at that one more time. We did do it similar in the Wormaconda system, just without a different finish. So this is technique 12. So we're here, inside control. So we're playing Wormaconda. Shay's smart, he's in combat base. If he was standing, we'd be doing the usual Wormaconda system. So once I go for this backward off balance sweep and I elevate him and I get him right over, this time he physically sits up. I want to fill the space. I butt scoop behind, I one knot underhook. I still keep this grip, and then we have that bow and arrow movement where I bring my foot to this side, hip out, and I'm into the bow and arrow. That's technique 12. Technique 13, we're back to reverse Wormaconda from combat base. So I've inside control over here. So another thing I can do from this position is, when I elevate him to here, just relax 1 second, and maybe I'm not getting him, okay? So, because his base is so good, so now we look at bringing the leg over to this side, nice, and we end up here, okay, in our reverse Wormaconda position. So maybe I feel that the backwards off balance sweep isn't in, so I'm going to keep my grips. I put in my left hook, and as long as I get my right knee behind him from that position, I can put him straight down, belly down. And again, from that position, I like to bring this foot across. We're into our inverted estema lock. I pull this in, making the grips. So remember when we were playing the inverted estema lock, I grab little toe side, crook of the arm around, and now from this position, I just turn. Now the problem with this is, Shay can, he can't defend. You probably want to stay on your knees if possible, bro. Now his escape is to punch his right leg straight. We already covered this in the Wormaconda, but he's not going to do that with this right foot. Try to punch it out straight, bro. That's not going to happen. But another thing can happen is, with this hook, he can actually roll onto his right side. I have a left butterfly hook, and he can roll this way. Just roll, bro. I'm going with him. And when I go with him, I keep this leg in, and now I still keep turning. I just keep connected to him. It's really the only way I can turn is rolling that way. But as long as I keep this locked on and I'm still turning, I still have it. So let's look at that again. Just I'm going this side this time, bro. So from combat base, Wormaconda position, inside control. We're here. I'm going to dig in, get the leg to the other side, switching to reverse Wormaconda. I like that thumb down grip from there. So maybe I tried the backwards off balance, it's not happening. So my left hook comes in. As long as I get my right knee through to this side, and my hooks are behind him from there. And now I'm just going to run him down to get his butt on the mat. Once I run him down and keep in control of his ankles, I like to bring the right leg over the top, pulling this in. Left hand grabs the sole of the foot, crook of the arm, and now we have that inverted steam lock. One more time on that, bro, just to get back to the camera.
Yep.
Combat base, inside control, here. Yeah. Nothing's on, trying to push this foot out, so I switch to reverse Wormaconda. Options to backward off balance sweep, options to bring this hook in and just free my knee line to here, and then I just run him straight down. Once I run him straight down, right leg comes over, because he wants to straighten this leg. I grab the sole of the foot, put this on, and now I'm lifting the heel in one direction to my right, turning his toes to my left. The only thing he can do is, with this butterfly hook, he can roll to this on the right side, on your right side, perfect. I go with him. So once he rolls this way, I'm going with him, but I stay connected, and that's still on. He ain't going anywhere. So, that's 13. Let's look at transitioning into the saddle from reverse Wormaconda combat base again, bro, perfect. Okay, so let's look at the knee bar. So from here, I'm in Wormaconda, inside control. Shay's worked out if he goes to combat base, closes down to the Wormaconda system, which I've already covered. So now we're knowing the route to go down. We switch from Wormaconda to reverse Wormaconda. I like that thumb down grip. Another thing I can do apart from the backwards off balance sweep is look for the saddle. So I just pick Shay up, go for this, search for the knee, but when I pull it in, this time I'm dropping straight into the knee bar. Okay, so I've still got my hooks in, I've still got the lapel. I'm going to put his instep on my left shoulder. I'm going to make the crook of my arm around his arm, make my grips, and now from there I'm really just hipping in. I don't need to do anything. I keep the lapel grip because I've got him. He's looking to put his right foot in my butt and do all that stuff to free his knee line. Try to do that, bro. It's not going to happen. There's no escape. And then I have the knee bar. Let's look at that again. That's the advantage of the lapel is you're on this side, bro. He's dropped to combat base. I'm in Wormaconda. I dig in to reverse Wormaconda. Okay. Thumb down grip. Okay. From that position, maybe I'm going for the backwards off balance sweep. He's based with his hands. So my left hand, okay, finds the far leg. I pull this through and drop him straight onto the hip again, keeping the grip with my lapel. I just fall onto my side, instep on my shoulder, find my gi from here, and again from there I'm just going to basically hip in. He's wrapped up like a Christmas box. So that's our saddle, okay, which is technique 14. Technique 15. We're in our Wormaconda position. Okay. Inside control. Okay. I'm going to switch under. Switch to reverse X. Reverse Wormaconda. Thumb down grip. Okay. Going for the last move. So I elevate Shay. When I find that knee line, he knows I want the knee bar and he pulls his knee close to his body. I end up here. There's no way I've got the knee bar now. So watch, I'm turning it into a sweep. I just make a triangle and I put the sole of my left foot in front of his left knee. Now I know he's no base that way. I'm just going to turn him that way and come up. Once I come up to that position, again, this can come through and become a leg drag. Dig in and pass. Let's look at that again. Just from combat base. Wormaconda. We're here. Nothing's on. I dig deep and transition to reverse Wormaconda. Once I'm there, looking for the transition to the saddle. So I elevate him. Looking for the knee bar, but Shay pulls that knee in. So once he's that knee in from this position, all I do is I make a triangle. I put the sole of my foot in front of his knee, and now I just put him down that way. Once I get into that position, we can start working our passes. One more time of that, just with your back to the camera roll. Perfect, combat base. So we're here, dig in, reverse Wormaconda, pick him up, okay. I'm looking for the knee bar, he hides that knee and drops it inside. There's no way there's no knee bar now. I just make a triangle and I want to sweep him to my left and Shay's left. So I just put, all I can do is widen his right knee. If I try to sweep him that way, just widen your knee, bro. Yeah, that's what stops it. I make the triangle and I put the sole of my foot in front of his knee and now I just take him that way. Once I come up, I can start to work on whatever pass presents itself. So there is a calf crank there. It's in the system, I don't really rate it, but show it to you quickly. I'm not a big fan of calf cranks, they're very low percentage, but there's a possibility I might be able to get it, which is move 15, I think. So we're here. So from our position, I dig in. I get this over my head. I make this switch to reverse Wormaconda. I'm going to pick Shay up, look for the saddle. He hides the knee line and we end up there. So last time we triangled the legs and we looked at sweeping and coming up. Another thing I can do from this position is I can physically let go, come up and body lock him here and sit in and try to come forward looking for the calf crank. Maybe it's not that high percentage, who knows. Let's look at that again, bro. So we're here, combat base, perfect. Inside control. Nothing's on from Wormaconda. We make the transition, I dig, get this over my head, re-grip, thumb down, okay. Gonna pick him up, options to look for the saddle, options to look for the knee bar. Shay brings his knee in tight. We had the sweep on the last move, but also if you notice I nearly have a calf crank on him there. I want the sharp bit of my shin in the back of his knee. So I'm going to let go of this and hip out a little bit and make the triangle. And now I sit up and I'm physically going to body lock him here. And now it's just about me putting pressure and hipping in. My goal is to get his heel towards his butt with the sharp bit of my shin into the back of his knee. I think that's 15, maybe 16. One more, just two transitions. I think we covered this in the last mesocycle. Maybe we didn't go to reverse Wormaconda, but they were very similar. You're just here, bro. So how do we get to here from the De La Rivas and the Galaxy Hooks and the Galaxy Anacondas? Just from, say, De La Riva. We looked at how I can pass the lapel, come underneath, get the foot on the inside here, and then I can dig to bring in my Galaxy Hook. Okay, so we're in the Galaxy Hook guard. Maybe Shay drops the combat base. Perfect. So we showed you how to play the whole Galaxy Hook system from there. I can just basically punch this leg through, win inside control. I'm into Wormaconda from here, and then I can get this over my head. We're back into our reverse Wormaconda position. One more time on that. You figure it out as you go along. Just on this side though. So just from De La Riva, we looked at from De La Riva, we were looking to get the De La Galaxy. So this would come down. Right. We looked about how I could bring this inside. So we're in the De La Galaxy. We can swim this right foot inside. Okay. And there's our Galaxy Hook. Again, from that position, it's very easy now for me to push with my left foot, which frees up my right, and I can punch that through. Left comes inside, and now I'm into Wormaconda. I would never really go to reverse Wormaconda unless Shay dropped the combat base, because it would be very difficult for me to get his right foot over my head with all his weight on it. So I think that's a go-to move. Anytime he drops the combat base, you're looking to pass this over. I like to switch the grip so it's thumb down and then we're into the whole system. That's it from De La Riva guard. Let's look at it from Anaconda. I think we touched on this before. Just put your right leg forward, bro. Perfect. So say I'm in Anaconda guard. Okay. So again, from that position, I can be taking the foot out, passing it underneath, switching my grip. I'm in Wormaconda, and then Shay drops the combat base, and then from that position, I'll be digging for the underhook, bringing this over my head, and we're into reverse Wormaconda. We also showed you the other variation, whereby I think when we were playing Anaconda, and then we were switching to Galaxy Anaconda, the problem with the guards is, say Shay drops the combat base, perfect. He wants to remove this, so we looked about how I could put this foot in. Okay. Another thing I could be doing is I can use this lapel as well. So I can pull this lapel through, okay, and actually from that position put my left foot and control it from there. So that keeps that foot safe. And then when the moment's right, I can kick through. There's Wormaconda, dig in, reverse Wormaconda. and then we're playing the whole game from there, where I can physically elevate him, look for that, put him straight down, and then we're straight into our whole system from there. So I think it's roughly 16 techniques. That's the recap for worm guard and reverse worm